Welcome back to Game 3, our deciding game of the Summit 7 China qualifiers between Invictus Gaming versus EHOME. My name is Hades and I'm your caster for this series. Well, joining me, my co-caster. Hello PQ, you there?
Hello, dude.
Thanks for waking up.
Yeah, no worries.
Alright, so apparently EHOME, they took a clean game 1 over IG. I missed that one since there was a bit of scheduling issues. But when we came to game 2, now that was really something because IG did has outplayed EHOME completely. Ursa could never come online. Bobica made sure of that X access as well. Like, it was pretty much like a Bat Rider, Venge, and then Earthspit hiding this Ursa around, and he went for the Mask of Madness build. So pretty much nothing he could accomplish. But game 3 again, it's gonna be the Venge first pick. IG really likes this.
I think it's really good for them as well. Burning is one of the better Venge players, and you're always happy to have this hero as a support. I really like it in China. They just make a lot of good use of the hero. It opens up a lot of flexibility for your lanes. Because you can always put pressure with this hero if you see like weak heroes on the other side. If not, you just default it to a support and you're fairly happy throughout all stages.
Indeed, and I mean, even IG, just having the Venge there, either as a core support, it allows more, I would say, versatility, flexibility with the draft. And EHOME, I mean, you can tell they're so afraid of playing against this Bobica Riki. They actually pick up the Monkey King as well. They did this in the previous game, but that means Bobica gets his Earth Spirit, and his, I would say, just basically any roaming hero you give to him, he makes something happen for sure.
Yeah, and he's not really a player you can ban out. You can pick your preferences, but he has his options.
I mean, they could try. You can imagine 5 heroes just all Bobica bans, but obviously that wouldn't be ideal. They actually go back for that Treant. I feel like we've seen this before. I mean, sorry. We did this, I think, was it Star Ladder? I remember we casted a series where basically Bobica would either get Treant, Earth Spirit, or Monkey King every single game.
I vaguely remember.
I think that was that Treant game. You remember that one, right? The Ags where the enemy could just IGV could never leave that half of the map.
Yes.
That was the ultimate cancer.
Yeah, we might not get to that point, but Treant is much more of a fighting hero now than he was. With the implementation of the stun, he's a really good initiating hero. He's really annoying to deal with. And one of the reasons I like the hero in this situation is he can zone a Nyx if he's alone quite handily, and then if Monkey's somewhere, it's fairly easy when you're good enough to realize which tree he jumps to. You just sit in Invis, Quelling Blade, the tree, or Tango it. Then you fight him, and you always win. Even with stacks, by the time he gets them, you're normally up, and you can always just walk away. So I really like the tree, and if the Venge is a carry, then it synergizes at like the time of the game that the lineup likes to fight a lot normally. And tree is just good sustain.
You also have to love that. I think. Do you think that the increase to his base damage actually made him more viable? I think they also buffed like all but Venom, giving it extra DPS. Like, do you think those tiny details actually helped to making Treant such a hot pick in this meta?
They definitely do. I wouldn't say they're the reason he's picked. It's mostly the versatility of being able to keep your towers alive and having some form of initiation that most teams can't deal with. Obviously, a lot of people like Solar Crest because it's a completely broken item at the moment, so you don't always get the blink early. But if you're getting Solar Crest, that's normally a sign of you being able to fight and initiate anyway.
And when you have this big angry Treant running at you with a Windlace, or with Venom, and a nice medallion, you don't want to be trading hits with this guy. His base damage is like, what, 96?
I think it's like 89 or something, but yeah.
But that's still ridiculously high. Highest in the game. For the base damage.
Indeed.
So, we'll see what IG decides to ban this time. Okay, I mean, we haven't talked about CTY yet. We talked a lot about Bobica, we talked a lot about Burning, but we haven't talked about CTY. I mean, this was the guy who, back then, everyone would first ban his quad. That was basically, you never had 5, you had 4 bans. But now it seems, I don't know, it's like he hasn't been able to shine like he used to, basically.
No longer the 6-minute god?
I don't think so, man. But, now that he's drafting as well,
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, there's always going to be that debate, right? Like, if you're playing, or rather if you're drafting as a support player as a core.
I really don't think it matters that much for drafting. It's mostly about the in-game calls. 'Cause some teams have this issue where the person who picks the heroes just doesn't always make the right call and someone else does, but they're not necessarily the people who do the in-game calls in the first 15-20 minutes, which is normally when core players have the most of a hard time captaining. Because once you get to like a tier 1 level, which I know EHOME hasn't like been at all the tournaments and stuff, but their players are still, you know, really, really solid and seasoned players. They know what they're doing and you just make the calls. You don't necessarily need someone to hold your hand through the first 15 minutes of the game anymore. But I really like the Lina pick here. It makes a lot of sense. It's something that Phoenix has a lot of trouble dealing with. It's really good at bursting down the heroes and chewing through living armor.
5 seconds remaining.
Gives you a way to convert your fights into tower pushes as well.
EHOME's turn to ban.
You there, dude?
Ten seconds remaining.
Okay, I will presume something just happened and I'll keep
5
talking.
seconds remaining.
But IG go for Dusa. This is a very scary lineup to play into.
Wait, hello.
Hello.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay. I think there's something wrong with my mic. I had to disconnect it. But okay, I mean, back to the point. There's this debate. I mean, back to the who should be better as a drafter thing. I mean, wouldn't you say that support players actually draft a bit better because they can see more? I mean, that's why you don't see Arteezy drafting for EG, right?
That's because Arteezy is
Baby Rage.
No, it's like he's a mechanical player. Like he obviously understands what he needs to do and stuff, but he's not a drafter. There's a certain type of person you pick out that is just smart, reading what the opponent wants to do, analyzing it, and then like strategizing against it. Arteezy just plays his hero. It's hard to explain without going into like a huge debate because I've been there and it's awkward to say the least.
But I know what you're referring to. Like I get what you're saying. But I like the way that both teams just finished out the draft. IG already knew what they wanted. They go for the XXS. This is a lot of team fight. Meanwhile, EHOME, it looks like they needed like a backup late game. They pick up the Morphling for CTY. And I already feel this game is going to be extremely difficult for him. I mean, his Ursa back in the previous game had such a hard time.
I don't think it's going to be easy for him here, as you said. It's like Darkseer alone is really annoying for Morphling to deal with, just because the lane's always pushed into you, and normally you want to have kill potential on this Darkseer hero. But if Treant's there, your supports don't offer you that. They're very... Warlock doesn't really kill anything, and Monkey King doesn't give you enough lockdown to deal with a Darkseer. So he might just be able to sit in that lane on his own and allow the Treant to like move around the map. And then you have this issue where once you get out the lanes, you're pretty much relying on your Lina and Nyx to carry you through the early mid game when IG aren't necessarily always going to be 5 heroes to use their big team fight ults. And if they can split the map slightly, they'll be in a decent spot, but I just don't see them ever being able to win a fight unless they have this huge gold lead or they fight into some vision that gives them an easy pick off to start the fight, which is extremely scary because you have to win team fights to win games.
It is, and maybe it just boils down to old chicken, but I don't know. Ever since some of these players left, like, okay, I'm not sure if you know who the other two are, JDH and the Nyx.
No, I don't.
Yeah, these guys, okay, they came from the youth EHOME squad. They came from EHOME K. So, I mean, so far they've been giving JDH. Yeah, it's alright. It's fine. Like, I did quite a bit of Chinese Dota, especially since with DPL. So, these guys, I wouldn't say they're exceptional players like CTY. When he came from the youth squads, he really burst onto the scene, but not these guys. I guess it's kind of hard when you're playing from the 5. But, alright. Next assassin. Do you think this game boils down a lot to a lot of vendetta ganks with the Lina? Because I think that's what they're trying to do. You need these four to create a ton of space for this Morphling.
Yeah, pretty much. If the Warlock can get a good timing on his 6, that will also help a lot. It just kind of secures your gank, and then it ideally allows you to push the tower following the gank, which is something they'll be looking to do as early as possible. Because IG don't really come online super early in terms of teamfight, and the heroes aren't the strongest if you go to their tower with a rock. They just don't have a good response to it. And if they don't win their lane with like the Venge, they are quite weak. So that's IG's worry point of the game. Once it gets to like 20 minutes, they have their first round of items and team fights start happening, they'll be a lot more comfortable. So you want EHOME to exploit that window, which mostly relies on just getting their levels on their important heroes and then making the rotations.
So safe to say you're favoring EHOME's draft a bit more in this game?
I haven't really seen EHOME play, but like it's hard to bet against IG at the moment.
It is. Just Bobaca things. But actually I like
I mean, it's the entire team.
It is. Hold on top lane. They're gonna go right into the next assassin. They have a stun. Oh, nice juke with the carapace. Actually, ooh, that was good timing. Alright, so
It's
that...
nice and easy.
Yeah.
I really like how
put
they're
the
doing
Warlock
this
here,
though. Because normally you'd expect the Monkey King to be here if you're just running your lanes normally, but what teams do with the Warlock is having a PMS hero, and they just absorb all this early pressure most of the time. I think they're going to net a kill here though.
There should be. First blood going away to Bobaca. Just punching him down. But meanwhile, in the jungle, Lanham, this monkey staring down an XXS, getting some very nice EXP. This XXS is jungling with the Iron Talon. I would have thought that he would go back to lane, seeing as, you know, Monkey King's off the map and, you know, Warlock's at the top lane. But this
Yeah, I don't like this decision.
And CTY gets free
weird.
farm. I think he tried for courier snipe, that's why. I think he's going for it. Yep, he is going for it. One more click. There we go.
Courier has been killed.
Feels bad, man.
Not like that. And they put in so much effort to juke the courier as well. Like, it went from mid all the way to the top. Went through a certain jungle path, but...
It didn't go to mid.
I thought it did. I mean, it went to OP first, giving him his... I remember he gave him something.
Maybe immediately. I'm not sure. Maybe Q bought a sentry. But it was definitely top lane.
Yeah, it went from the mid to the top. That's why I said it went this super long route. And when it still dies like that, that's why it feels bad.
But at least the Dax has gone bottom now, so this might... actually, Morphling's probably very comfortable with this, because as long as Victorian isn't here, he's not going to be under any pressure now. Like, level 1 to 2, it's a bit worse. But he's got his Wraith Band, he's got his regen, and he's going to be able to farm into the tower quite easily. And the side pull's also blocked. But he did unblock it, which I find really weird now the Dax has come to the lane.
Man, I always feel like this is going to be very difficult if you're playing a Morphling into the Dark Seer. Controlling the creep wave can be quite annoying. Bobaca still sticking to the top. He won't find anyone, but wow, they're bringing a lot of heroes into the mid. Alright, on the strike, no mana into this Medusa. You need a bit more damage, but the bash on old chicken. Ooh, Bobaca, is he gonna get the kill here first? I think he will. And that's gonna be OP getting a ton of kills. Bobaca gonna run down JDH. Won't have enough damage, but still, the damage has already been done. Look at this, Dusa gets away with 20 HP.
That was extremely close. And I think the only reason he lives is when the tree TP'd, he TP'd like by the tree line, so his invis was still kicked in by the time he finished. And then he stuns Felina for what, like half a second? Stops one auto attack, they get 2 turn kills. And now the tree also gets some token levels, which is really important. This hero getting early levels in living armor just makes a ginormous difference. Those ganks stop working when living armor becomes a thing. So EHOME already off to a really shaky start.
No, they haven't had any luck with kills. I mean, when you commit so many heroes to the mid just now, and you end up losing 2 for nothing, That's just not worth it in the slightest bit. So
It's
once
really
again,
demoralizing as well.
it is. These kind of things really tilt you, don't they?
You'd hope they don't tilt players at this caliber, but
Oh, Babaka, they know he's there, but they're going for the lead sheet into old Lanham XXS. He has to surge, and of course, the Ion Shell. This guy runs very fast. They get the monkey down immediately. Waveform forward, CTY. Living Armor doing a bit of work, but it's not going to be enough. And okay.
I'm not sure I'd want to be making that trade as IG.
Especially when you're giving away gold to CTY. That's not the plan. That's not the
It's
plan.
like level 4 Treant as well. Warlock's involved in the kill, CTY gets a lot of experience. It's more about that than the gold, I think, at this point. Though he is topping the net worth,
He is. He's at absolute free.
as you'd expect.
You look at Burning. Well, he's not that far behind, but considering we're still only in the first 5 minutes of the game, that's something.
It's just a kill
Oh,
difference.
Babaka, he might get the courier. No, he just
I
walked
don't
past
think
it.
you can.
He just walked past it. No. But he's gonna go for old chicken instead. Bish, there we go, with the lead sheet as well. He actually went for level 2 living up. Flash Stick Array gonna stop the Medusa in her tracks, but that damage, one more right click. Can't switch the aggro away. Okay, now he will, but old chicken very, very low, down to 90 HP. That's really close. And now you see a monkey. Old Lanham wandering around. Oh, it takes damage away from those creeps. Those prowlers can be really annoying at the first hit.
Yeah, I do not like the new ancient creeps unless you're playing a mid-hero with nukes.
Are fortified.
I'm still waiting for like a Chen player to use them nicely, you know? That's the dream. I think those things are quite okay.
They just like tank all these magic nukes and die though, that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of the whole point with the other ancients, that they don't just die to AoE nukes.
And they give
Besides,
pretty good buffs.
Chen's just like not a good meta hero right now. I think Enchantress is just better.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, these ancient prowlers, I guess, the disables which they have are much better compared to the other ancients.
Oh, it's good on Doom.
Oh, hold on. Bottom lane, JDH. With that Ion Shell, he wanted to test JDH IQ, but now it looks like Bobaka, you just outplayed yourself. Easy waveform, CTY gets another kill. I definitely don't think this is the play to feed so many kills to CTY. This is a Morphling we're talking about, and 3.2k net worth, he's really, really farmed.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's the plan to feed, but now they need to change the game plan a bit. So I don't think Treant coming down here is achieving anything anymore. It's at a point of the game where the Morphling just does too much damage with his waveform, and he has the form of sustain. So you can't really pressure him out of the lane. And so far, the monkey hasn't needed to be anywhere else. Like after that failed attempt mid, they probably don't feel comfortable going there again. So he's just gonna sit here as long as the tree keeps coming back. Which I think favors EHOME a bit, because it lets their Nyx soak up levels top against what could have been a really, really hard tri-lane. Venge is one of the best safe lane supports at zoning out these offlaners and netting kills on them.
Cool. Going for a bit of a bounty rune steal, but he does get it, so hashtag worth it. He's gonna get that much closer to level 6. Arcane Boots kinda on the way. I mean, also helps that Nyx Assassin has quite a high base region. Alright, so Bobka spotted old Lanham. Nah, he can't do anything. But top lane,
they get a
however,
kill off.
ooh, Laguna Blade.
Not the kill they wanted to find, but Burning was close enough to the tower, they didn't feel
Dire's
comfortable.
bottom tower is under attack.
So I'll take whatever they can get. If this turns into a tower push though, it's a really nice rotation.
It's unlikely.
I
is it?
imagine.
I
Yeah,
don't
you
think
just
they
armor
push.
the tower and you drag the creep wave.
Oh, but look at Bobaka, he really wants this monkey. Is he gonna try for it? He might. He needs to do so to push out the wave first. Oh, Lanham, don't go any further forward. Don't do it. Don't do it, Lanham. Don't do it. Oh, not like this. Oh, wait, he still gets away. No QB.
He cut the wrong
Ah, he
tree.
cut the wrong tree. Close though. Alright, so what's
I mean, this is a lot of damage on their tower, and unlike IG, EHOME has no way to heal them. So they punish the rotation. Like losing your Phoenix to get half or over half of a tier 1 tower is definitely worth it from IG's point of view.
Alright, so now it looks like they want to put a bit more pressure. XXS is climbing into net worth. We haven't talked about him yet for a while actually. I mean, now he has the soaring, Arcane Boots on the way, and probably, yeah, he has the hit dress as well. He's actually catching up on farm, if anything, to his course.
It's kind of just normal Darkseid things.
But
And the sorry, go on. Normally, if this hero does anything extraordinary in the early game, it's like enabling kills on the safe lane, and so far that hasn't gone their
middle
way.
lane, they find old chicken into the magic missile. Bobaka comes from behind, and they take the big kill onto the Lina. So Burning gonna get healed up, and this should be a tier 1 tower.
Yeah, EHOME just not in the right place to scout the smoke gank. Lannon was like on the wrong side. And this is typical IG,
XXS
really.
in trouble, the Vendetta gank, and bang, down he goes. He had the carapace, so no way he was running away. Next assassin, these are the plays he needed to make. Burning not going to try and swap him in or anything.
Tower is under attack.
No, I mean, I was gonna say like about the Dark Seer thing, like my previous point. I mean that's the nature of the hero, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but he farms much quicker. But when it comes to late game, in terms of damage output, he doesn't really provide as much.
No, it's mostly the setup aspect and the early. It depends how much farm he gets, but normally you're expecting like a mech around the 12-15 minute mark, and that's going to enable the hero to just make his team nearly unkillable in a lot of these situations. Because EHOME have a lot of burst, but they can only kind of do it to one hero, unless they somehow have all 5 heroes under a bonds and then they burst one hero, and then the rest of them all kind of die. But that's unfeasible.
Alright,
Dire's
IG
top tower is under attack.
banging into the tower. They've taken themselves another tier 1, but old
Radiant's
top
bottom
lane.
tower is under attack.
Very easy kill once more for CTY. They take out Q. Q's not having a good game.
Bottom tower has fallen.
I mean, he's level 6, it's not too bad. And most importantly, they get the numbers up to defend this tower. You know, the thing you don't want to be doing with a Treant is trading tier 1s. And the fact IG was able to smoke mid, get the kill, transition into a tower, then go bottom, get the tower, defend their own tier 1, it's a ginormous win for them.
Dire's middle tower
And
is
while you
under
see
attack.
Morphling ahead in the net worth, this hero's not going to contribute to fights for a while, and the rest of his team is so far behind in comparison to every IG hero. The only thing they really have going for them is the fact Lina's nearly maxed out her nukes, and Warlock has a golem, and Nyx is level 7. So if they can find like 1 or 2 heroes that are slightly away from the pack, they can get a kill.
I mean, we can consider as well that... I mean, you said that Morphing isn't going to be fighting that, but he's 3-0. Like, he's pretty much involved in half of his team's kills. I mean,
They
maybe
came to
missing
him, though.
something. Yeah. Oh, the carapace triggered into OP. They miss a stun, but the swap immediately. Now big rock landing into 3 heroes into the Wukong's command. I don't think you want to be doing that. Now that's a big egg, but that egg is going to be knocked out very quickly. We'll get up. The Stone Gaze is going to be there. We're telling him to stone the nuke in time. Yes, it will. And the egg rock is going to be there. Nyx Assassin should be dying here. Morphling. So Medusa goes down. And JDH finds 2. It's going to be 4 heroes going down on the side of IG. Looked like it was going to be a good fight, but EHOME outplaying them there with a great Warlock play. And Monkey King thinks.
Yeah, he hit level 6 just before that fight, and that pretty much won them the engagement. I don't think IG saw that, because that move was definitely ballsy.
Dire's top
And
tower is under
this is the
attack.
kind of thing that I suppose EHOME have in their draft that they can do.
You know, the whole time while that was
Dire's
hold on
top
on top lane. Looks like he may be dying here. Saved by OP. The stun is going to try and cook this monkey. Boundless track to cancel it. Hold on, he needs to get out. He needs to get out. Oh, the stun turns into a tree trying to disjoint the projectile, but Burning will get the kill. And meanwhile, JDH, you know, killing Q one more time. Oh, question mark Nyx Assassin. He's going to try and just run away from this one.
And that's still good trades for EHOME though. They secure the tower, they get another kill on the Phoenix, who is now starting to struggle. And IG just finished their mech, but they just lost a ginormous team fight.
And Nyx Assassin's
So-
like pretty much halfway to a Midas.
Dire's
I mean, you
middle
compare
tower
like,
is under attack.
I don't know, this is not a good Midas game for Phoenix, is it?
It's normally a good minus game for Phoenix, but it's like the Treant's the one taking the fourth
Radiant's top
position, which
tower
makes a
is
lot of
under
sense. So
attack.
he's just going to be relying on whatever he
Medusa
can
to get a
find.
nice, beautiful double stun. Looking for the life take away, but the overgrowth will be there. Laguna Blade to finish him off. Very nice and clean from EHOME. And that's a big wasted ultimate from Bobaka.
Luckily, it's not the longest cooldown, but yeah. EHOME just catch them before they're 5. IG being a bit sloppy.
Mhm.
Like they show a hero mid and the 3 heroes going down top. The Lena's in the right place at the right time. This is really important because a lot of Lenas, they just sit in the jungle, farm the wave, work towards their bloodstone, and then say, okay, I'm ready to fight. That would be way too late this game. And IG are really wanting to like push this window where they know there's no golem, but because they got the pick with the Lena, that the window is actually not as big as it was. And now I imagine they're not going to want to do this push because Medusa's showing bottom with no TP available. And Rock's going to be back up in like 10 seconds.
Dire's
Oh, it's already
middle
back
tower
up.
is under attack.
And
Oh, now
so
going
far,
for the swap
Morphlings,
again. They want to kill this Nyx Assassin, but they just can't find it. And looking for the stun, misses it completely. And that's going to be a nice kill for Bobaka.
Radiant's top
Some bit of
tower
pocket
is under
change.
attack.
So they needed that. They needed at least
Radiant's
one kill to,
structures are fortified.
if anything, it's a good motivating factor, I guess.
yeah, especially if they can turn it into the
Dire's
tower,
middle
which...
tower is under attack.
I'm surprised EHOME didn't keep their heroes around here because IG was showing to push this.
New treasures.
Right, CTY actually he's queued up Boots of Travel. I guess this is another way you can see him more active. Like he can leave a replicate with his team and then just split push another map.
Haste.
Yeah, it's also just so much value. Like ever since the TBs got nerfed to like 80 seconds, getting BOT is just... It's such a feels good thing on any core. It's hard to not go for it. Like he's not fighting this game, he doesn't need the treads. The only reason you'd forgo it is if you wanted like an item that allowed you to interact in the fights like Manta or BKB, which isn't something he's worried about. Like the pace of the game has slowed down after IG lost that top fight, and now he's going to feel quite happy just taking 10 extra minutes.
Oh, Nyx. There we go, where he find a target. Yes, he will. OP, very nice and quick. All these stuns for 1,000 years. And XXS, oh well. Have a quick trip to the fountain. Okay, do you think the Lincolns is really the item for Medusa this game? I mean, right now, even with the Lincoln Sphere, it doesn't seem like he can... I don't think they'll be able to fight for a really long time.
I always hated Lincoln's on Dusa, but this game, the only things that take it off are like Shadow Word, Fatal Bonds, Mana Burn, and then the Laguna. So I'm guessing he wants it for that. Personally, I'm not a fan. I feel like you'd get way more value out of like Manta Dragonlance.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. But it's really
Dire's
hard,
top tower
basically.
is under attack.
I mean, some players, they just end up thinking, it's a necessity, I guess. But now at least they're trying to clear this huge ancient stack. Really big ancient stack.
I've never seen him go this build, and I've seen plenty of Dusa games from him. So it's also a E-Blade counter for when Morphling eventually gets it, so he doesn't get solo killed as much. But you can argue the same thing with like a Manta if you just Manta dodge it. But Lincoln's does give you a bit more sustain. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue because no matter what his items were, they wouldn't have won the top fight. And ever since, EHOME has just always provided like 1 or 2 extra heroes whenever there's been an engagement on, and it's really cost IG so far because they're not moving around as 5 heroes because it's too inefficient. So EHOME just get to do these kind of simple pick-offs.
Oh god. Sorry, I was trying to fix... I think I have this bug. I'm not sure why. I couldn't move my camera and I was just like stuck at the ancient area for a while.
I've only had that happen when you start the game.
I don't know, I find it happens only when I cast Chinese games, not so much the other regions, but it's just bad luck. Sorry about that, guys.
He didn't miss anything important. It was just a Treant walking into a Sentry, getting stunned, and then Lagoona'd.
But I mean, this way now, you know, Chicken already has his Bloodstone. He can pretty much start looking for these charges. What's the next move here for both teams? Like if you're IG or if you're EHOME? EHOME, obviously, you know, you want to be fighting with the Warlock Golem, but what about IG?
I think for now, they need to put fighting on the back burner and get their first round of items. Lincoln's is up on Deucer, Dragonlance is up on Burning, but he's going back for Midas because they see how the pace of game's going. And right now the map's way too split, like Morphling.
Oh, he gets out. They tried to burn the tree down, catching him to pop the dust. Babaka wasn't really caught in that. Lanham wants to use that big staff, but won't get the opportunity. So Q gets a bit more gold. He's actually going for the Veil this game.
I love the Sido.
On the Phoenix, it feels a bit underrated, right? I mean, when you pop the Veil, that Sunray hitting at you, especially when he gets more items up, it actually hurts a lot.
Yeah, the only problem is there's plenty of ways to cancel all his Sunray damage. But if you're a 5 position support, it's very small build up. It gives you the stats you need because you kind of like having a bit more mana pool and not relying on like a 1 charge. So makes
They
sense.
get this. Oh, try for the vacuum, but XXS looks like he's gonna get punished for this insolence.
Might be good
the
for
swap
IG.
out. The Laguna Blade, the rock onto the high ground for 2, and the Adaptive Strike C2OI getting a kill. So that's the next. The Wukong's command's gonna come on now. Stonegate's not really gonna do that much, but they will just run this one off. Olam trying to stay in the Wukong's command, getting a couple of hits in. I think they want to fight. If they can find OP, blink forward, getting the stun, bang, and now of course getting the slow as well into the Light Strike Array. Down goes Deucer. For the count, upheaval, slow. Way too many disables, and EHOME are outplaying IG in these fights.
Yeah, the Treant just not quite there for the overgrowth in time. I think Q went like a second too early. And if they connect that combo, the fight looks 100% different. But instead, they burn the egg, they get their 2 kills. And they just take their Aegis and run with it. Like, their game couldn't be really going much better. I mean, their curry could not be dying, but other than that, they're gonna be really happy.
Babaka. I think you mentioned it before, like pretty much almost every single game, Babaka is going to be sniping a Cory here and there. It's annoying, gets you a bit of pocket change.
They can't really do anything else, so...
Maybe steal bounty runs, that's it.
Yeah, but that's not something that helps your team, and helping your team is very important in this game. Like, the Deuce is still farming well, but they just can't connect with any of their net worth. Like, Burning's always been on like the other side of the map, which is obviously a team decision, but it all goes back to that one fight where they, I presume, didn't know Monkey King was 6. Or they miscommunicated.
Hold on, they want to go to the Deucer again. Life Strike Array is stuck there forever with the Carapace as well. The Sun is going to try and keep him alive, burning with the swap out. And maybe this is where they try to make a fight here. I don't think so. I question that. There's no Warlock. And immediately EHOME get out. Oh, but CTI is playing this a bit greedy. He has the Aegis. He's just going to steal some Ancients. So yeah, Medusa has high net worth like you said, but it's just a Yasha and a Lincoln Sphere. I also want to talk like, Burning actually has a Midas. So...
Yeah, he went back for this.
Yeah, he went back for this. But is this a good call here? Like, this is just prepping for the late game, right? If they can drag it out that long.
Yeah, I think it is a good call because normally you'd look at the game and say it's 20, I'm guessing 22, 21 minutes is when you got it, and you're going back for Midas.
Oh
you could
no,
just, like,
Q, not again.
rest in peace, bird.
All he wanted to do was D-ward.
Life of a support. Yeah, normally you look at this decision and you say you could just buy like a Yasha or half of a BKB, but these items aren't actually going to help him at all. The main thing that's going to help IG is the game going longer and EHOME feeling the need to take a Roshan or take a tower that allows IG to then use their full 5-man engagement, because their team fight is still stronger. They just need to not have dead heroes when it actually becomes a 5v5, and honestly, just like the items on the supports are going to matter a lot. Treant getting a Blink Dagger, absolutely game changing. So I think the Midas just shores up the game a bit. I don't think it's an easy spot for them to be in. They definitely didn't want to be here, but they're adapting. That's all Dota is. Plan B, Plan C.
He might just go for the hit onto Old Lanham, but what he doesn't know is that the Nyx Assassin is there, waiting for him. Stun, everything flies out. Can they kill this Treant? And of course, they will get the kill. But meanwhile, CTY getting Q one more time. E-Blade. Oh shit. Alright, so if you're Q right now, you have to be like a bit depressed. Like he's going back for that cloak. Could indicate
that ain't gonna help.
Exactly.
I don't know, he has 1400 health. Maybe it helps if he doesn't connect the waveform, but yeah.
I think he just got solo killed by CTY though, and that was with an arcane rune, so maybe that kind of helped.
Dire's top tower has
I mean, he wasn't full agi, so maybe the cloak makes a bit of difference. I always forget how tanky Phoenix is.
Alright, Morphling still hasn't used it Aegis yet. I don't think he will get the chance to. It should be expiring in like about 1 minute or something.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna last, but he's just waiting behind the trees. He's looking for that easy
He's gonna
kill.
do some damage.
No. What? Oh, CTY. That just gives you support. It's like a heart attack when he just dives you like that.
For his team or their team?
For their team.
Or both?
Both. Could be both. Old animals have been like, no. I'm the one with the big dong. You play safe. I mean, it has to be, right? That was such a Leroy Jenkins play.
He had Aegis, he had Replica, like...
Can you imagine if the Aegis had just expired in that moment?
I mean, the players are pretty good at timing it. He knew he had like 5-10 seconds left, and once his Linken's procced, he was like, nope, fuck this shit, I'm out. This ain't worth.
Oh well, they know Burning is hanging around. They want to get some siege damage onto the tier 2. I guess with the Treant they can kind of heal this back up, but you know, it only does you so much. Especially when Morphling, he's going to keep growing in items, his damage is going to be really annoying. And also, I wanted to ask PQ, like, between a Morphling and a Medusa, who carries better late game?
I think it really depends on the situation, but Morphling's way better at finding the backline heroes and killing, namely like Darkseer, Tree, Phoenix, in these kind of situations that enable your team to then take a team fight. Medusa is just like this rock that if she's farmed enough, you don't move, and she moves you. But EHOME are pretty mobile. Mostly they're Morphling, and Lina can be.
Oh, they get the swap into Old Chicken. Underestimating that by Bunny, immediately destroyed by CTY. And Old Chicken's like, thank you for the Bloodstone donation. It's the Blood Drive, but over in the bottom lane, popping that Stone Gaze. They did cancel Medusa's TP, I think. Oil Storm cooldown. And now the Usurp's up into the air. They found themselves a big, tasty target. XXS needs to get him out, but he can't. Vacuum. But where's the fault? There's not. XXS will also follow Medusa into the grave, and that will be the free tier 2 tower, I think. No creep way. But they will try anyways. And the GG will be called from IG. They've had enough.
I can't blame them at all. This game's just like not fun to play for them at all. And it's not every Dota game that you just pick out one moment, but they made that play top lane, they got wiped, and after that, EHOME just like, they planted the Lina top lane, they planted the Morphling bottom, they moved the heroes in between, and they kept the waves pushed in, so IG never felt comfortable. Like, they have this mindset when they have Treant, we have to defend our towers, we never want to take a trade, which is like a good mindset, but they never went as 5, which is the strength of their draft. And because of that, EHOME got numerous amounts of pickoffs, and they just delayed the game to the point where they didn't even care if IG were 5 anymore, because they just split the map. And, you know, Morphling just kills one hero straight up, and Lina can kind of do the same thing. And then they've got a rock to back them up, and suddenly their team fight becomes actually a lot scarier, because Tree doesn't have any initiation, and Phoenix is just a dead egg half the time, because it's a level 1 egg at 27 minutes.
Well, also worth saying that both JDH and CTY, you know, these guys did not die the entire game here. 902, 408. JDH, I would say this was a really good game to be a +5. I mean, even skipping Arcane Boots just to go for the Solar Crest. Q is having a rough day. 0-7.
Just look at the damage Other than Morphling, everyone is in 4 digits. That's how little like actual fighting there was this game.
But still, 22 to 9. I mean, we'll take it. CTY just out carrying Burning. Looks like it's in with the new and out with the old. But okay, this was our first best of 3. We have one more coming up for you guys. It should be Newbie versus LFY, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll be seeing you guys for that game. My name is Hades. This is PQMZ. You can follow us on social media if you like the cast or if you have any feedback for us. We'll be seeing you guys. So meanwhile, it's time for a bit of sellout. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back very, very soon. And I think the next game's in 25 minutes. See you guys.